beautiful YouTube family, Lisa A. Romano here, the Breakthrough Life Coach, and today I was asked to do a video about how to use your imagination to help you create your own new reality. Great. Love these questions. Keep them coming, YouTube. So let's get a couple of things straight. We are always creating our own reality. And that's really hard for people to hear, especially those of us who are in tough, crappy living situations. Let me explain. Our subconscious mind is the result of what we've experienced in childhood. Our subconscious minds hold our feelings, or our feelings are created in the subconscious mind. So what you've been taught, for instance, to think about yourself has created a feeling within you. Remember, when you were a little girl or a little boy, really, really young, you weren't cognitive in the sense where you can make sense of things, but you were feeling. You were always feeling. You incarnated onto this planet as a feeling being. So the feelings really are the key to you being able to manifest the life experience that you really want to experience in this lifetime. So when you incarnate, you're a feeling being, this little baby, and you have all these feelings, and this is affecting your subconscious mind. So if by the time you're a year old, you should know whether or not you should be able to know whether or not you could trust your environment. When you cry, does your diaper get changed? When you're hungry, do you get fed? Where you're laying down, is it warm? Is it fuzzy? Is it cold? Is it abrasive? Are there a lot of loud noises around you? Are you startled a lot? Do you fear a lot? I mean, children know, infants know whether or not they're in pleasure or they're in pain. And so it's really important that you understand that all your emotions come from your subconscious mind, the stuff that's been downloaded into you when you weren't very cognitive, when you were just being downloaded, basically, when you're an innocent being. So then what happens is, as we grow up, we take all these ideas and all these emotions and all these beliefs about ourselves that other people have programmed into our brain, and we go out into the world. All we do is react to what shows up. So there's the subconscious mind, then there's the mental field, which is only about 5% conscious. Hello. That means 95% of us are walking around 95% unconscious. The third level is the higher conscious mind. Until a human being gets conscious, they're reacting to the emotions that are coming up from the subconscious mind. I want you to start being able to detach, because until you learn how to detach, you cannot use your imagination to your advantage. You can't, because your imagination will be hijacked by the movies of the past. And so when you're wounded by one of your children today and you haven't done your emotional work, then you're reacting to the message or the movie from the past. So this mind in your this I that's in your mind can only react to the messages that you keep playing over and over and over and over. It's sort of like, post-traumatic stress disorder that's never been dealt with, that's never been looked at. So let's say, you're in a situation and someone upsets you, and you understand that you have to use, if you want to create your own reality deliberately, you have to learn how to first master your emotions, okay? So let's say something comes up. Let's say you're dealing with a narcissist, and let's say you have to co-parent with a narcissist, and he said he's going to show up Sunday at 3 o'clock, and he doesn't show up. He doesn't even call. So what's going to show up in you, obviously, is anger, and it's justified. But if you haven't done your recovery work, what might happen is you might feel completely powerless, like he's trying to get over on you. And that might be very reminiscent of the way your mom treated you, or the way your dad treated you, or the way a narcissistic sibling treated you. And if you're not very careful, which means if you're not highly conscious, you will begin to react to that situation today in the now the same way you did when you were younger. Okay? You're not creating then, dear one. You're recreating. Can you see that? I know you can, because you're brilliant. And you're brilliant because you're trying to learn, which is awesome. So how do we learn to use our imagination to our advantage to create our own reality? The analogy that I like to use is this. When you're feeling an emotion, let's say frustration and powerlessness, I want you to stop, look, listen, feel. Just stop. Look at the feeling of powerlessness, and then imagine that feeling exists in an ocean, which represents your subconscious mind. And that feeling is a fish. So let's say the feeling that you're feeling is powerlessness. So I want you to imagine that you're looking at the ocean, and there's a fish in the ocean, and it's just jumping out of the water, and you're saying, there's powerlessness. There's powerlessness. Let's say you're also angry. Then there's another fish. Okay, I can see anger. I can see frustration. Yep, I can see all these fish. That helps you create distance, emotional distance between you and your emotions. There's distance. So the you that I'm talking about is the higher you, is the observer in you that is able to look at the way you feel rather than react to the way you feel. Now, stop this tape, rewind it, go back, listen to it again, because that is where all your creative power lies. Then you're in a place where you're clearing out the emotional clutter. Like you're saying, I don't have to react to that feeling of powerlessness. Just because my daughter, doesn't want to go to the mall with me now, doesn't mean that I'm not a good mom. Just because she'd rather hang out with her friends doesn't mean that she doesn't love me. That's okay. I felt rejected as a child by my mother and my sister and whatever, and I felt unwanted. And so there was, when she said, no, I don't want to go with you, there was this moment of, I'm not wanted. But I was able to objectify it. I was able to see the fish in the ocean, and that feeling of not feeling wanted is a trigger from the past. Okay, I get it. So now you're in control of it. You're not reacting to it. Awesome. When you've done enough of that work, then you can use your imagination to your advantage. Until you're able to do that, your imagination has been hijacked by the past. And your mind, your God's eye, is only watching the tapes from the past. So until you learn that you're enough, no matter what's showing up now, you're enough. No matter what showed up in the past, you're enough. You have to understand, although it's really tough to swallow, the universe is indifferent. There is no such thing as the universe doesn't say who's deserving, who's not deserving, who's a good boy, who's a bad boy, who's a good girl, who's a bad girl. The universe doesn't work that way. The universe is a bunch of codes, if you will, like a bunch of SKUs, And if you can imagine like a bunch of numbers on a screen, the computer, which is this divine matrix, is constantly trying to match you up with, and it happens automatically, your vibration. So whatever you're giving off is what you will be matched up with. So that means if you had a really crappy childhood, until you are able to understand that until your emotional vibration shifts, and that's why I write my books, because it's all about helping you move up the quantum scale. Okay, quantum tools to help you heal your life now lays that out for you. But certainly all the books, The Road Back to Me, My Road Beyond the Codependent Divorce, Loving the Self-Affirmations, Quantum Tools, and Loving the Self-Affirmations, Healing Childhood Programming, are all written to help you move up the vibrational scale so that you're able to transcend the past, able to see the subconscious programming, and then create something new. You want a new movie in your mind. So what you want to do is obviously do your emotional recovery work. And then once you're cleared out, I want you to start thinking about life, imagining in your mind the way you want your life to be. So it's not enough to know what you don't want, because the universe doesn't, it's like walking into a restaurant. Do you tell the waitress what you don't want? No. So what happens when you walk into a restaurant? Could you imagine walking to a restaurant and the waitress hands you a menu and you go, I don't want the spaghetti and meatballs, and I don't want the mac and cheese, and I don't want the filet mignon, and I don't want the duck, the waitress is going to walk away from you. Done. She's out of here. She's to the next table. She wants to deal with people who know what they want. That's like the universe. You have to know what you want, dear one. So if you're not spending time thinking about what you don't want because you keep recycling the tape of the past, right? You keep going in for more, trying to get other people's validation. You don't need it. You don't need it. And the longer you think that you do, the longer it's going to take you to be able to manifest the life that you really want. So every day, I want you to do what I do. I have an intention journal. It's a really nice journal that I bought from Home Goods. Really, really nice. And I bought a nice pen. And every morning, and as a matter of fact, I was up at 3:30 in the morning. I know people think I'm crazy, but it's the only time I get to be completely alone in my house. And I went outside on my deck with the candle, and I looked up at the stars, and I put a 10 or 15 minute meditation on. I listened to Brother Iz because I love him, and he lifts my vibration. Then I unplugged myself, and I began to imagine life the way I want it. So what I do is I spend time imagining that, and then I just let it go. I just let it go. And I imagine what it feels like. And that's when your awareness meets your desired reality, and it forms a cross. Now, the feeling that, the nail that keeps this cross intact is the feeling. So you have your awareness, what you want, well, actually your awareness, your consciousness, and then you have your desired reality, and they cross. And what binds it together, what makes it come true, is your feeling. And if you could just believe in that feeling, just sit in that feeling, imagining that happening, eventually, if you can maintain that vibration, you will have what you wish to manifest. I manifested, I think I told you guys this in one of my videos. I don't know what video it is, but I know I did. I think I did. When I was 43, I wrote a letter to the universe. And in the letter to the universe, I said, by the time I'm 45, I want to manifest a relationship that makes me feel seen. I want to feel heard. I want to manifest a man that I can have faith in, that I can put all my trust behind, that I can respect, who can respect me. I want to feel his respect. I want my children to be able to respect him. If he has children, I want his children to respect me. I want to respect them. I want us to all gel and mesh really, really nicely. I want him to be a snazzy dresser. I want him to smell good. I want him to be financially responsible. I don't want a drinker. I don't want a smoker. And I don't want someone who's foul. I want someone who's neat, who takes care of himself, who is just very responsible, who's socially conscious, who likes animals, who's kind to old people, who's kind when no one's looking. I want a man that I can trust. I want a man who can trust me. I want a man who's emotionally intelligent, And these are all the things that I put down on my letter to the universe. And I said I wrote it when I was 43. I said, by the time I'm 45, I will be ready to manifest this relationship. And don't you know, dear ones, I write about it in my second book, but don't you know, my husband asked me out, Scout's honor, on my 45th birthday. I am not kidding. This stuff works. I would like you to begin using your imagination in a way that is opposite to the way that you've usually used it. You've used it, most of us who come from codependent backgrounds, who have been raised by narcissists and alcoholics and who have been labeled crazy by society and doctors and whatnot, have been using our imagination to our disadvantage. We think ill things about ourselves. We think we need other people's validation, and we don't. We worry about what other people think about us. We try to be likable. We try to not rock the boat. We obsess about saying the right thing, looking the right way, being the right weight. We look in the mirror and we think, oh my God, we're so ugly. I'm never going to find that guy. Oh my God, I'm so old. I'm never going to find love. Oh my God, I'm so old. I'll never get that degree. Oh my God, I have 3 kids and I'll never get a job, or I'll never be able to buy a house, or I'll never. You're using your imagination against you. Against you. Your mind believes you. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. And I'm not a Bible freak, but holy crap. The keys to the universe are in this Bible. They're interwoven, but they're in the Bible. You have not because you ask not. And so you have to die to the old to be born again in the new. You have to understand that you have to die to your old way of thinking, your old way of seeing yourself. And once you're able to, I have to change my vibration. Yes, maybe I had an alcoholic parent or 2 parents. Maybe I was molested as a little girl or as a little boy. Maybe I have experienced terrible things in my lifetime. And while that's all true, if I don't change my emotional vibration, my set point, the universe cannot deliver to me what I want to experience, which is abundance of love, abundance of contentment, abundance of peace and respect. So, dear ones, you use your imagination to your advantage, first by understanding the way this universe works and learning how to honor what you feel, but then to also understand that what you feel, your goal is to transcend it. Okay, you have to master your emotions. And then once you change your set point, your emotional vibrational set point, and you understand that you're deserving, then what you do is you spend time controlling your mind. You must practice. You could watch my videos all day, every day, And although I do believe that if you watch them over and over and over and over, a lot of this stuff will get programmed into your mind, especially if you fall asleep. If you fall asleep to these types of videos and my affirmations and my meditations, what will happen is your brain will become susceptible to the information as you're drifting off into sleep, which is awesome, which is what you want. You want to change the old tapes. Your brain will never, ever, 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 ever be able to create a script unless you get to the higher realms. So that means that your brain can only rewind what's in it. And if you're not happy with what's in it, then you have to change it. And your brain just can't change it automatically. It must be created from a higher self or higher consciousness. And I make these videos to help people use my videos to be able to ignite their higher consciousness, to get them to think in a way that is productive and works for them. So once you clear out the old energies and you understand that you're worthy and you understand how the game works, then what you do is you harness your godlike power and you understand that your imagination is everything. How you see yourself internally is what you experience externally. Fabulous. When you start to respect yourself, you attract people who respect you. When you start to love yourself, people start to see you. They start to say hello to you. You start to find money in the street. You start to think differently. You start to get different opportunities. People start treating you differently. Why? Because it's your vibration. It's your vibration. You literally are in control. And so the way you walk into situations, your vibration is everything. But your vibration is a result of the way you see yourself. Now, the first way you see yourself is a result of the way other people saw you. Okay? So until you wake up, until you slice through that veil, okay, until you slice through that veil, the way you see yourself is a result of the way other people have seen you. Because the way your parents perceived you will become the way you perceive yourself. So if they saw no value in you, then you will see no value in you. And as an adult, you attract people who see no value in you, and blah, 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 blah. And dear ones, listen, it's not your fault if you've been wounded. But that's not the end of the story. I don't care how desperate you are. I don't care how many narcissists you've married or you've been with. I don't care. I don't care how afraid you are right now. There is a God within you. God is within you. This brain of yours has the ability to manifest whatever it desires and believes worthy of. You have to believe that you're worthy of it. So whatever you're dreaming for, dream with the intent for it to come true because you know that you're worthy of it. So just make sure, dear one, the key is to make sure that your belief and your desire matches the desire. You have to feel worthy of it, dear ones. You have to feel worthy of it. And whatever you see tinkering around in your head, you have to match the vibration of that. So have fun with your imagination. Use it the way it's supposed to be used. Stop using fluoride toothpaste and get a fluoride filter, because fluoride calcifies the pineal gland, which makes it harder for you to imagine. So get those magazines. Rip out the pictures that mean something to you. Create a vision board, or lots of vision boards. Create a vision notebook. You know, I create my own mind movies with my computer. Do whatever you can to get these creative juices flowing. Do whatever you can, and then release it. Then release it. I really hope this has helped you understand how to use your imagination to your advantage in this lifetime, even if your childhood experiences have been god-awful. Don't let other people take away your God-given power, dear one. Don't let them win. Take control over your mind. No matter what's happened to you, know that there is a creator within you. Know that. Don't let them win, dear one. Don't let them win. Namaste. I know you guys love this. I bow to the love and the light in you. Namaste.